Salutations everyone and welcome to What Mattered, the show where I tell you not just what happened this week, but only what mattered. I promise this week I'm not gonna talk about Star Wars, seeing it how it's already the number 2 highest grossing domestic film of all. Damn it! So in our first bit of news today, Doctor Strange, good old Benedict Cumberbund, is in his Doctor Strange fatigues, and it's official, and we get to see it instead of all these leaked, shots and all that good stuff. We also got to hear what a couple of the cast members are, and their roles, and we get to see their take on the Sorcerer Supreme in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which is gonna somehow lead into Infinity War. We know there's still a couple of stones unaccounted for. Benedict Cumberbatch, when the casting announcement was made, it was like, yeah, I could see him as Doctor Strange, of course. How could you not? He's got the salt and pepper look, so they made him, they aged him up a wee bit, which is fine and necessary. I think it's a really good look. They didn't mess with the hair or with the clothes or with really anything too much. They pretty much took it from the print and put it on the screen, and it worked, and I like it. No word on really much of this film outside this, even though there's a bunch of supposed info in this Entertainment Weekly thing, but it's just to, show us some screenshots of Benedict Cumberbatch in the Doctor Strangeness that's going on. And we also have been known for a while that Tilda Swinton is going to be playing the Ancient One, which has had some controversy ever since that rumor, and now we've known for a while now that that is completely true, because the Ancient One is really old, Asian descent man who is ancient, hence Ancient One. And in this movie, it's a woman. So there's going to be the whole whitewashing thing, and when you compare like people of color against women, people of color are always going to triumph in that sector of the conversation. Otherwise, I don't think we would be talking about this if it's just a woman cast in a man's role in the same ethnicity. But their justification of this just felt kind of weird. They were like talking around the table. It's like, oh, what if the Ancient One was a woman? And someone was like Tilda Swinton, and they're like, yes. It's like, okay, Ancient One isn't like a super duper important character. It's very important to the storyline, but not to the actual story, because they have a very small role, an important one, but a small, seemingly insignificant what the damn Ancient One looks like. They justify it by saying, the Ancient One has lived many lives and has different looks and many bodies. Whatever. As long as the film's good, that's what matters. I don't care about any of this other crap. As long as the film is good. And Marvel has shown us a couple of missteps with some sequels, possibly, ones that didn't meet expectations of their first iterations, but still I think a solid track record, and I think we should continue to trust them. And hopefully Civil War looks amazing, and Doctor Strange is really good, and all the other things, the Ragnaroks and the Black Panthers, and just, cool stuff. The early rumors were true, and Activision Blizzard has bought out the majority of Major League Gaming for $46 million, and they will be liquefying those assets, so MLG is no more. Very recently, the former CEO has been replaced by the former CFO, and, after losing Call of Duty to ESL and just being on a decline the last couple of years, this makes sense and is going to make a lot of people upset, because, Activision Blizzard, they buy up a lot of stuff and they try to take control and make things a lot better, or they just wipe them out of existence as a big company does. They either absorb it, make it better, or absorb it and then shat it out. And that kind of looks like what they're going to be doing with MLG. Activision Blizzard has been very, very active in the major competitive gaming. Blizzard Activision has been on the forefront with all of their games and all the people that they've hired that used to work for MLG and used to work for ESPN. It could just be that they are taking out all of the competition and then launching their own bigger Blizzard Activision league all on their own. So, I don't really know what the rationale was behind this. I mean, you could see a couple of things that they would want to do, but what's the end goal? What's the end game? Because competitive gaming isn't going anywhere. It's getting bigger and bigger every single month, it seems like, with all these huge pools. Granted, it's mostly for MOBAs and StarCraft, but it's still, those games are still going to be big, and Call of Duty is still a competitive thing. They have Counter-Strike Global Offensive and Halo 5 tournaments already set up through MLG through, I think, April, so I think those will still happen because of prior contracts have already been set, and then they would, have to go against those contracts, which is bad for business. So it'll be interesting to see what Activision Blizzard is planning on doing with the majority of MLG, and maybe those days of air horning are behind us. Your games for gold for January go as follows. Killer Instinct Season 1 will be available for free starting yesterday, and then halfway through the month you will get Zerfos, I don't know. That's going to be free halfway through the month. And for 360 owners as well as Xbox One owners, because of the whole backwards compatibility, you get 4 games every month. You get Dirt Showdown as well as Deus Ex Human Revolution. On the PlayStation 4 front, we are getting Grim Fandango Remastered for free, as well as Hardware Rivals. And the PS3 gets Dragon Age Origins and Medal of Honor Warfighter. Vita owners are getting Naya Lumbra and Legends of War Patent, as well as Grim Fandango Remastered. Looks like Christopher Nolan's 2017 film is going to be a World War II story focused on the evacuation of the French seaport Dunkirk, and that's really all you need to know. Christopher Nolan is making another movie, as one would expect, and we're all going to be excited for it. Remember when we learned, oh yeah, he's making a movie in 2014 about something in space with travel? And then we saw it and we're like, yeah, that was cool. TARS? I'm all about it. So yeah, I think we could all look forward to this. There's always an abundance of true stories that took place during World War II that we're like, whoa, how come we've never been told this until a movie came out, 60, 70, 1,000 years later. But there's plenty of true stories that have yet to been told, and I think we can trust Christopher Nolan to tell us another good one. And in Square Enix news, Square Enix announced a Square Enix announcement, and that Final Fantasy 15 is coming out. 2016, don't know when, but yeah, it's coming out. 2016. We've been developing this thing for a long time, and now we're in the final phase, which is going to take a lot of time and willpower, whatever that means. But well, people have been waiting for Final Fantasy 15 for a long time, and people will continue to wait for the remastered Final Fantasy 7 and Kingdom Hearts 3 because, those don't have release dates yet. But hey, Final Fantasy 15 fans, you actually got a number, you got a year. That's more so than a lot of Square franchises have going for them right now for games that are in development currently. So, but yeah, 2016. So you have something to look forward to. Everyone else is just gonna be left in the dark. Any Hootie and the Blowfish, that is what mattered this week. If you'd like to know what matters in the future, you get the subscribe button. One of these hits every single Saturday. Sorry for the bad lighting. I was at a convention all day today. Got to meet my waifu for lifu. And yeah, so there was no time when the sun was out to do this kind of thing. Sorry.